The eviction notice slipped from her trembling hands just as her little daughter asked the question that shattered her heart, "Mom, are we going to lose our home again?" In a moment of desperation, the terrified mother whispered a lie that would change everything. She claimed she was a widow because she believed it was the only way to keep the apartment. She never imagined that the building's mysterious owner, a billionaire CEO known for never showing mercy, would personally uncover the truth. If you believe in kindness, forgiveness, hope, and second chances, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel. Every bit of support helps our community continue sharing emotional stories that remind us compassion can change lives. Maren Caldwell had spent the last 3 years trying to rebuild a life that had fallen apart. Her marriage had ended after her husband abandoned the family, leaving behind unpaid debts and a broken promise to return. Too ashamed to explain the truth to everyone she met, Maren quietly worked 2 daytime jobs while raising her 6-year-old daughter, Elsie. Every paycheck disappeared into rent, groceries, school supplies, and medical bills. She never complained because she believed her daughter deserved to grow up believing that tomorrow could always be better than today. When the apartment complex announced a financial assistance program for residents facing extraordinary hardship, Maren filled out the application with shaking hands. One question asked whether she was a widow or caring for children after losing a spouse. Staring at the paper, she remembered every landlord who had refused to help after hearing the truth about her failed marriage. Fear convinced her that no one would care about a woman whose husband had simply walked away. With tears filling her eyes, she checked the box that said she was widowed. The lie worked. Her rent was temporarily reduced, giving her enough breathing room to keep food on the table and her daughter safely enrolled in school. For weeks, life finally felt peaceful. Then everything changed. The apartment complex was unexpectedly purchased by a successful real estate company led by Rowan Mercer, a respected CEO known throughout the city for transforming neglected buildings into thriving communities. Newspapers described him as brilliant but emotionally distant. Employees admired his fairness, yet everyone agreed he demanded complete honesty. Rather than managing properties from a distant office, Rowan spent several afternoons personally visiting his newest buildings. He believed numbers never told the full story. Meeting residents helped him understand what truly mattered. One sunny afternoon, while walking through the courtyard, Rowan noticed little Elsie carefully planting colorful flowers in a small patch of soil beside the entrance. Curious, he knelt beside her and asked why she spent so much time taking care of the garden. The little girl smiled proudly. She explained that flowers reminded her mother that beautiful things could still grow after storms. Those innocent words lingered in Rowan's mind long after he continued his inspection. Days later, while reviewing assistance applications, one small inconsistency caught his attention. Public records showed no death certificate connected to Maren's husband. Company policy required every false application to be investigated. Many executives would have approved immediate eviction. Rowan decided to knock on her door himself. When Maren opened it, panic instantly filled her face. She knew exactly why he had come. Instead of making excuses, she invited him inside. The modest apartment was spotless despite worn furniture and patched curtains. Children's drawings covered one wall. Fresh soup simmered on the stove while sunlight poured through the windows. Nothing about the home reflected laziness or deception. It reflected determination. With tears quietly falling, Maren admitted everything. She confessed that her husband had abandoned them years earlier. She confessed that every landlord treated deserted wives differently than widows, assuming abandonment somehow reflected personal failure. Most painfully, she confessed she had lied because she could no longer bear watching her daughter pack boxes every few months. She accepted full responsibility. If losing the apartment was the price for telling the truth, she would accept it. Rowan remained silent for several moments. Her honesty after being discovered moved him more than the original lie angered him. Growing up, Rowan's own mother had secretly worked 3 jobs after his father disappeared without warning. He remembered eviction notices taped to doors, unpaid bills covering kitchen tables, and his mother's constant smile that hid unbearable exhaustion. Looking around, Marin's apartment felt like stepping back into his own childhood. He realized he wasn't looking at a dishonest woman. He was looking at someone desperately trying to protect her child. Instead of terminating her lease, Rowan requested something unexpected. He asked Marin to help redesign the building's resident support program. She understood struggles executives could never see from boardrooms. Over the following months, Marin worked alongside Rowan, creating new assistance guidelines based on genuine hardship instead of narrow categories. The program expanded childcare support, job placement services, emergency grants, and financial counseling for struggling families regardless of how hardship entered their lives. Residents began calling it the Hope Initiative. Hundreds of families avoided homelessness because one frightened mother had finally found the courage to tell the truth. Working together changed both of them. Rowan slowly rediscovered compassion that business success had buried beneath years of endless responsibility. Marin rediscovered confidence she thought abandonment had stolen forever. Every afternoon after meetings, Rowan often found Elsie tending the community garden. Together they planted flowers donated by local businesses until the once empty courtyard became the brightest place in the neighborhood. The colorful garden became a symbol of new beginnings. One warm afternoon during the community's annual family celebration, Rowan stood before residents and publicly announced that the Hope Initiative would expand to every apartment complex his company owned. He thanked one resident whose courage had inspired the entire project. Without revealing embarrassing details, he explained that true leadership required understanding people before judging them. Marin watched with tears in her eyes. For the first time in years, she no longer felt ashamed of her past. She understood that one mistake did not define an entire life. Months later, Rowan and Marin continued working together, their friendship slowly growing into something deeper. Neither rushed the journey. Trust had been built through honesty, forgiveness, and countless ordinary afternoons helping others. Elsie often joked that the flowers had introduced them before they ever truly met. Perhaps she was right. Sometimes hope blooms exactly where life once seemed impossible. Before we end this story, we'd love to hear from you. Leave a meaningful comment and tell us, do you believe someone who lies out of desperation deserves forgiveness when they choose honesty, or should trust always be earned again from the beginning? If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. Remember, kindness does not ignore mistakes, it gives people the chance to become more than their worst decision, and sometimes that single act of compassion changes countless lives forever.